Hi guys, it's John and welcome back to Creative Tap. So we've got another tutorial today and it's this Iron Man image that we're going to be creating, and we're going to be giving it this long shadow as well. So we're going to be using Illustrator, so let's dive on in. So here is my file that I was working on earlier. So what I'm going to do is File, New, and then when it loads up I'll go for 600 by 600 pixels is fine for me, and I'm just going to click create, but you can do whatever size you want really. So first of all I'm going to create the background. So on layer 1 I'll just rename this to BG, and I'm just going to drag in a rectangle of this kind of colour, sort of a little bit more orangey brown, something like this, but a little bit desaturated, like something like that, maybe a little bit more yellow, something along that. Yeah, that's fine. And I don't want a stroke around it, so I'll turn that off. Let's draw this out. Boom, we've got our background, so I'll lock that and create a new layer. Now I'm going to be looking at this for this image just for a little bit of I don't know what the word is, inspiration, guidance really. So if you wanted to download an image of Iron Man and kind of use it to trace, you can, but I'm not going to be tracing it, I'm just going to be taking the general shape, okay? So first of all, on this new layer, I'm going to get my rounded rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a shape along the lines of that. I just want to make sure that this is dead in the center. There we go. I'm going to bring in these little dots by here, so we've got a rounded shape. However, if we look back at this one, we actually want it to be sort of squared off the bottom. So what I'm going to do is get my direct selection tool. I'm going to get the handle of each of these, and holding shift I'm just going to drag it all the way up like so, okay, and that's going to square it off by here. Now what I also want to do is get my pen tool, go to the add anchor point tool, and I'm just going to add one by here and one by here. Then back to the direct selection tool, and let's zoom in for this. I want to get these, so I'm holding shift when I drag it down. I want to get these points, this point, and this point sitting on the same line, and I've got my guides on, which should be helping me out with that, which is not at the moment. Don't worry, we'll come back to that. Once we've done that, you can get your handles, and holding Alt, I'm just going to make sure that we bring these points in. Do that for this one as well, and then I'm going to make sure we do it for this one. Okay, like so, and then on this side as well. So we're going to have a completely clean, and here, completely clean, rigid path. Okay. What I'm going to do then is select these, and I'm going to move them up a bit, like so. And I don't know why I moved them across then. Up like so. Okay, there we go. I may bring them back down actually. I'm going to bring these back down, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it down like that so it does it uniformly, something like that, and I may move them up a little bit. There we go. Okie dokes, let's move this back into the center. Cool, it was. What I'm going to do now is get the fill of this, and I'm going to fill it with a sort of darkish red, something like this. I can come back and do the colors later if need be, but I'm going to go with that. Now what I'm going to do is have a quick look at this image. So we come down, when we draw this gold, we come down here and then around, and when I did mine, I kind of went a little bit different with it. It's not completely the same. I've gone curved around here and I've come in. So let's just give it a go. Let's get my pen tool. I think I'm going to go on a new layer for this. I didn't last time, but it's just nicer too. So pen tool. What was that? Right, yeah. I was on the add anchor point tool. So let's click here, here, here. And what I might do is, when this is recording, I might speed this up, just because you can see where I'm putting the points, but I may take a little while to do it just to make sure it's accurate. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and then I'll join you in a second. Okay, So you join me back, and I've drawn my shape out, and you can probably tell that it's not completely accurate, and this is what happened the first time I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my guides, my rulers on, so show rulers, and I'm going to drag some of these rulers out just to make sure we've got everything kind of matching up. So I'm going to drag one to here, one to here, and I also want to drag one down. Okay, so let's zoom in. If I drag this ruler down like so, actually first of all let's fill this shape with yellow. Okay, so sort of yellowy gold, something like that. There we go. So I've got this guide, and I'm going to move him down like so. Can't move my guide down. There we go. So these top 2 points, these are matching up because this ruler is saying that. So if I drag a ruler down to this point by here, you can see that on this side it's not completely matching up. So I'm just going to move that up like so, and I think this one may need to come out a little bit to the side. So it's the same width across the whole thing. Yeah, that's fine. I'll start to move down, so let's get a ruler to come to this point on the left, and more or less matches up. This one could come up a tiny bit. So let's go like that, and I think this one could do with coming out a little bit, maybe even him. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to carry on working down, put this one by here. Yeah, this point can come up a bit, and I think these 2 on the left can go outwards a bit. Cool, we're getting more symmetrical as we go along, which is great. Another ruler, match up to this point. And you can see this one's these are both way off, so I'll move this one up and out just a touch. Yeah, okay, and I think this one could do with coming out a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Now get another one, come down to these bottom points. These are matching up, and I think this one could do with coming in a bit, and this one could do with going out a little bit. And I think we're more or less there. Maybe if this comes in a touch more, and this comes in a little touch more, and that. Yeah, some more or less there now. Okay, so if I zoom out, we've got something that's looking a lot more symmetrical. So I'm going to go back to view. No, I think I'll keep the rulers on for a minute. Now the next bit we want to add is the bottom lip plate. So again, as I go through this, putting all the points down, I will kind of speed it up in the edit, purely because I don't want to kind of waste your guys' time. So I'm going to get my pen tool, and let's start making this outline. Okay, so you join me back, and again, I'm going to be getting my direct selection tool and kind of having a look at what we've got going on here. So I'm going to get another ruler, make sure these 2 points are lining up. So I'll get this one, move it down like so. My down key on my keyboard isn't working. So yeah, now they're going to match up, and you can come in a little bit to keep it consistent. Looking at this point to how far away it is from there, I think this guy can come up and in a little bit. There we go. Now I'll get another one, make sure, right, these need to sit on the same. So I'm going to move him back down a little bit to about there. Okay. You can probably come down a little bit more, something like that. I think that'll be alright. Now we get another one. I know all these are going to line up because I held shift when I was clicking them to make a straight line. So I'll drag this one down, and these are lining up. Now let's come out from the side. These 2 could line up a little better, so move that across. There we go. Now get this ruler, place it there. That's more or less lining up. You can come across a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I think he can come across a little bit more, and I think the whole the 4 of these could actually move across 1 or 2 points. Yeah. Okay, and actually, I think what I'm going to do is get the whole bottom part and move it up like so. and then I'm going to move these bits in, so I may have to re-look at lining these up, something like that. I think that's going to be a bit better. So let's get another ruler, make sure they're matching up, so this one can come down by 1. Right, so okay, that's fine. So now we've got that bottom lip plate, so the only bit that we need to add is the eyes. So I'm going to go to View, Guides, and Hide Guides, because they're going to do my head in. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to get my pen tool, click here, and then holding shift click here, and then give it a little bend like so. Okay, and then I'm going to hit enter to finish that path, and I'm going to give it no fill and a stroke of just black, and yeah, that's thick enough. Now the final bit I need to do is, with the pen tool, just create 2 sort of curved cubes. So if I get my pen tool, let's lock this layer. I'm actually going to go on a new layer to make this, because otherwise, when I can lock this layer, otherwise it'll kind of interact with this line and it'll just be a bit tricky. So if I, on my new layer, go like so, and then give it a little curve, and hold Alt to bring this handle up, like so, and then we're going to go in like that. Okay, and hold Alt just to bring us back, and go like so. Right, now with this one, I'm just going to fill it with white, pure white, or you could go with a sort of blue, because I think in this image they do glow blue, don't they? But I'm not going to bother. And I'm going to work with that, right? So if I copy and paste that, so select the whole thing, copy and paste, I'm now going to bring this over here, rotate it, rotate it a little bit more, there we go, something like that, I think, there, right, okay, so what I'm going to do now, zoom out. I think these could both do with scaling up a little bit, actually, and then I can reposition them, so that one by there, okay, and then this one by here, and give it a little bit more of a rotate, there we go. Let's zoom in, rotate like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is copy and paste, these are on the same layer, yeah, copy and paste these into my other layer down here, so I can turn the top one off, and I'll paste them in, okay, because we want this line, this black line, to be on top of them, okay, so we want them to be behind the black line. So if I get this black line now, right click, arrange, bring to front, that'll now sit comfortably on top of them, okay, so now we can zoom out. They're a little bit high at the moment, so let's select that, the line, and this, scale them up and down a little bit, and we can actually move the 3 of them down like so, I think to about there. Okay, so looking at between them, more or less got the same thing going on, slight different variation in colours. The final thing now, let's make these a little bit bigger. The final thing is going to be creating the actual shadow. Okay, so I'm going to delete my top layer, this layer 4. Let's rename all this. So this is the red base, this is the yellow and eyes. Okay, so now it's time to add the shadow. So I'm going to get my red base, which is just this red shape right here. I'm going to drag it down to the new layer icon, and I'm going to drag red base copy down below. We call it shadow. Now if you've done everything on one layer, don't worry, just duplicate that layer and delete everything but the red sort of base, okay? So I'm going to lock that one. With this shadow selected, shadow layer, I'm going to select the geometry, not geometry, the shape. Go to Effect, just Distort and Transform, then Transform. I'm going to set both of these to 0.5, so there you go, 0.5, 0.5, and the copies I'm going to set to 450, because when I did this earlier, this seemed to work. So if I turn Preview on, you can see, yeah, it goes all the way down. Okay, so I'll click OK, And now this shape, all I'm going to do with it still selected, I'm going to go and change the colour to 50% grey. So if I just type 50 in here, and actually come over to here first, and then just make sure 50 is typed in there. Cool, so that's 50% grey. Click OK. Now all we need to do is go to Window, Appearance, and where is it? So go click the opacity bit there. Change this to Multiply, and I'm going to bring the opacity down to, I think we'll go 50 as well. So there you go. Now let's close all this up. So what you are left with is something very similar to what we've got in here. Only difference is the colours are slightly different, but it's the same shapes and everything. So mine was pretty rushed, so I'd probably go back in and just kind of adjust some of the points. But you know how to do that because I showed you that. So I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed. Go leave a comment of what you want to see next. Give us a like, subscribe, and all that. Check out our other tutorials, and yeah, hopefully see you again soon. Cheers.